16 soldiers 67th Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces Ukraine appear on front line near Kreminna, Luhansk region, Ukraine. During Russia's offensive against Ukraine November 2, 2023, Alina Smutko obtained licensing rights. Summary: Ukraine's counteroffensive has yielded little results so far as winter approaches. The truth of a long war emerges: soldiers at the front are exhausted but motivated. More support from the West needed to gain initiative. Kiev says NEAR KREMINNA. Ukraine. November 3 Istoryk. A 26-year-old soldier living in eastern Ukraine finally managed to fall asleep one morning, exhausted from relentless fighting against Russian forces in the pine forests near Kreminna. His rest was cut short when a new battle broke out just an hour later, and the senior combat medic was forced into action again by a fierce and lengthy argument. "We had a conflict that lasted more than 20 hours," said Istoryk, whose identity was identified by his military callsign: non-stop fighting, attacks, evacuations and, I made it," he told a reporter who visited his office on Thursday. "And we've all done it. We're not very fresh and we need to find strength right now." His description of latest fighting fatigue he and his unit are experiencing underscore immense strain. War, now in its 21st month, is placing on Ukraine's limited resources troops. Soldiers also know that Russia has a much larger army and more weapons and ammunition, raising the uncomfortable question of how Ukraine can definitively repel the invaders in Europe's bloodiest conflict since World War II. Brings it up. Ukraine's commander-in-chief, Valery Zaluzhnyi, spoke of stalemate on the battlefield in an interview published this week, adding that a protracted, exhausting war would favor Russia and could threaten state itself. The highly respected general's sharp assessment coincides with the onset of seasonal rains that make advancing on muddy ground difficult and follows a summer counteroffensive that liberated far less territory than Kiev had hoped. Although fatigue is inevitable for those in the trenches, motivation remains strong. Speaking with a broad Western Ukrainian accent, Istoryk describes his brutal experiences with a charming smile. When asked if he could continue fighting for another year, or even two, he replied, "I think so." Faltering Attack Istoryk serves Rifle Battalion of 67th Mechanized Brigade in Serebryanskyi Forest, Luhansk region. A large part of the province is under Russian occupation. The ground around the road leading to the trenches was dotted with craters from incoming shells, and burnt trees were split in half by explosions. Such conflicts continue with all their violence on front lines stretching from border of Russia's Belgorod region in northeast to Black Sea in south. Istoryk said Russia had suffered huge losses region. The official added that 5 Ukrainian soldiers in the evacuation team were also killed. Latest shelling nearby could not end.